welcome to our full moon practice. I'm Kirsten and I'm excited to share this flow with you today. So our full moon, the whole moon is illuminated, the sun is reflecting on it and we can see it bright in the sky. This also means that at night it's very illuminated outside. So spiritually or yogically, this is a time for us to reflect back on the intentions. If we set intentions during our new moon phase, it's also a time to just kind of reflect and see what has and has not been serving us during this past cycle. And those things that have not been serving us, rather it be activities, thoughts, emotions, stories, we begin to let that go here in this practice. Our full moon practice is also a time for us to just show gratitude for the abundance that we do have, honoring our practice, honoring ourselves as whole human beings, just as we are. So we are actually going to be starting from standing today. So you can go ahead, find the top of your mat, and then a block might be helpful today if you have a block available. If not, you could find maybe a large book or anything that is just going to bring the level up for your balance a little bit. You can go ahead and place it at the top of your mat. We'll be using that for our half moon pose. So if you are familiar with that pose, you know what's coming, you know if you need a block or not, and if not, just go ahead and grab one. Have it up there and we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll go ahead and get started standing. You can bring the feet together or about as hip width distance apart, whatever's more comfortable for you. And we'll just start in our mountain pose. So nice and rooted into all four corners of the feet. Our knees are soft. We're gonna tuck the tailbone in, pull the belly button in towards the spine, and then we'll shrug those shoulders up towards the ears, let them float down the back. Palms of the hands can face forward, fingers outstretched here. And the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. And here for a few breaths, I invite you to either close your eyes or take a nice soft gaze just past the nose. Finding your breath, meeting yourself wherever you're at this moment. And then we'll take 3 intentional breaths to get started here together. So taking a nice deep inhale in through the nose, fill up the belly and then the lungs. Hold that breath at the top and then open your mouth side out. Inhale in through the nose. Hold at the top. Open your mouth audibly side out, let it go. One more just like that, deep inhale in. Hold, side out the mouth. Good. And then we'll inhale our arms up and overhead. You can open the eyes here, gaze up here. Just take a full body stretch. So reach those fingertips up as high as they go here. And then you can go ahead and bring the stance a little bit wider here, maybe about hip width or maybe just a little bit wider. We're going to begin to make big circles. So reflecting the circle of that full moon, starting by going over to your right, you're going to bring your hands over and then we'll fold forward. So coming down to a forward fold, and then on an inhale, we'll rise back up on the other side. So thinking about painting these big circles with our hands. Exhale down the right, fold forward. Inhale up and around, back to top at the center. Good, take 2 more just like this. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come up. 1 more, exhale to fold. Inhale to come up. We'll pause here. Notice how that feels in the side body, starting to open it up, but also starting to engage into the core here, right? Take a nice deep inhale in. Exhale, we'll go the opposite way. So over to the left, fold forward. We'll inhale, come up the right side of the body. 3 more of these on your own breath. Using the exhale to come down, the inhale to come up. After that last one, reach hands up to the sky. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Take a breath here. Good, and then if you're not already at the top of your mat, go ahead, find your way there now. We'll inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. So just going straight down this time. And we'll be here for a few breaths. So you could bend into the knees if that feels good, resting the chest or the belly on the tops of the thighs. You could grab opposite elbows. You could walk hands behind the legs. Maybe your hands find a block. Try to surrender in here. So release tension of the neck, the head, the shoulders. And taking that moment to reflect here of what no longer serves you, as I mentioned before, beginning to let all of that go. Good, and then release any bind you might have taken with the hands. We'll inhale for a halfway lift, gaze forward, nice flat back. Hands on the earth, shins, thighs, maybe that block if you have it there still. And then we'll exhale, forward fold, bend the knees here, bring the hands to the earth. We'll step our feet back to that top of a push-up, taking our vinyasa flow. So if you know where you're going, go ahead and go there. If you're with me, we'll inhale to shift forward. Always option to lower to the knees first. Exhale, tuck those elbows in. We'll lower all the way down onto our bellies. When we arrive, we'll inhale for a cobra. So lift the chest, shine the heart forward. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale, tuck those toes under. Come up to knees or push up. Exhale, find your downward facing dog. And once you're here, feel free to pedal it out. Feel free to rock side to side. Find whatever you need to settle in here. And once you do, find your breath. Good, we'll inhale, gaze forward in between the hands, bend the knees, take steps or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, root to rise. Reach our arms all the way up and overhead. As we gaze up, stand up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here. Good, then we're gonna take a big step out to the side here. It doesn't matter which side of the mat you're facing, so whatever you feel is right for you here. And we're going to come into find a little bit of movement with our goddess squats. So our heels are gonna be slightly in, our toes slightly out. Nice wide stance here. And bring our hands together at heart center to start. Take a breath. Good, and then on your next inhale, we'll lift those arms up to the sky. You can gaze up as you do, maybe imagining that moonbeam shining straight down on you. And then on an exhale, we'll find cactus arms and we'll bring the knees out to the side, squatting into our goddess squat. Good, inhale, reach up, stand up nice and tall. Gaze up. Exhale, goddess squat. So your torso here is perfectly straight, just as we are when we're standing. It's only our legs that are bending here. And of course, our arms as well. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, goddess squat. Wonderful job here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, goddess squat. Good, we'll do one more here. So inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, find that goddess squat. We'll hold here for a few breaths. So you can stay just like this. Maybe you want to envision that full moon overhead once more. Maybe you want to open up the hands to the sky, squeeze shoulder blades together. Maybe you gaze up here. Good, a couple more breaths. Stick with it. Feel that burn in the legs. Good, and then your next inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, reach up. Exhale, pull it all back down as if you're pulling that moon with you. Pull it to the heart center. Feel that energy, breathe. Very good. Go ahead, release. This time we'll bring our hands to our hips. Toes are going to come slightly in, heels slightly out, just taking a nice wide-legged forward fold. We'll inhale, stand up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Once you come down here, hands can find the earth, or again, maybe that block. You could reach for the backs of the legs. You could grab opposite elbows here. You could walk hands back through the legs, whichever feels good for you here. Find a nice deep stretch. And once again here, releasing anything that no longer serves you. Both in our forward fold, I like to think about this as this release, this letting go. But also anytime that we're opening into our hips, we store so much energy there. A little bit of a slight hip opener here. So release anything that comes up. Good, then we'll bring our hands back to our hips. Inhale with a flat back. Come all the way back up to standing. Good, exhale, and then find your way back to the top of the mat. Feel free to shake it out if you'd like. Good, then from here, I want you to go ahead, send the weight into the left foot. We're gonna shoot the right toes towards the back of the mat, and then letting that foot come flat, about a 45-degree angle pointing up towards the side. We're gonna find our warrior, let's find our warrior 2 here. So go ahead, bend into that left leg. Arms are gonna come out to the side. We'll gaze forward over the left fingertips. Feel your strength and your power here. And then that right arm is gonna spiral forward as you spiral your hips forward to the front of the mat, warrior 1. Good, here we're gonna find our half moon. If you know where you're going, feel free to head there. I'm gonna walk you through it here. So from warrior 1, we're envisioning where we're going. I'm going to briefly get into it really fast here, just so in case you are not familiar with this pose, you know what it looks like. This is where we're headed. All right, and so to get there, you can place that block if you're gonna use it at any level that you think you might like here. Out in front of that left foot, about a foot distance here. And then as you begin to send weight into the left leg, you come up onto the right toes. Left hand's gonna find that block, or maybe it finds the earth. And then we put all of the weight in that left leg, begin to straighten it as that right leg shoots up to the sky, kind of straight out behind us. Our right foot is flexed. And then if you're feeling comfortable here, then you can lift that right arm up to the sky, opening up the chest and the heart space here. So find your breath here, play with it, see what you can do. If you feel really comfortable in that half moon, you want to complete that moon, that circle, you could bend the right leg back, finding a bind with the right hand. Once you've found it, see if you can press the foot into the hand, open up through the back, find that full circle there. A few more breaths here to play, to explore. Again, just have fun with it, see what you can do. Our full moon is a time of our full energy. So if you're feeling a little bit of energies in play right now, just feed into that. If you have that bind with a foot, go ahead slowly with control, release it. And then we'll all find a forward fold. So bending into the left leg, the right leg is going to meet the left, and then we'll fold forward at the top of our mat. Find your breath here. Good. Staying here in a forward fold, or if you are feeling energized, you'd like a little bit more, you could take a vinyasa here. Floating down, stepping back, finding your chaturanga or lowering to the earth. That up dog or cobra, finding your downward facing dog, and joining back up for a forward fold at the top of the mat. Or you can stay right in that forward fold and just find your breath here before we do the other side. Good, we'll all meet back up in that forward fold. Good, inhale, release the arms, halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach those arms all the way up and overhead, gaze up, stand up. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Take a breath here, amazing work. We're just gonna do that same thing on the other side. So as you're ready, sending weight into the right foot, we'll send the left toes back this time, flat on the earth, finding our warrior two pose. Just here for a couple of breaths. Good, and then we'll spiral that left arm down and up as we bring the hips forward, finding our warrior one. So now you've already had a chance to explore on the other side. You can kind of visualize where you're headed next. So before you make any movement here, just visualize yourself already in the posture. Visualize yourself already there. And then when you're ready to play, when you're ready to go for it, go ahead, tilt forward, weight into the right foot. Right hand comes down, left leg up to the sky. And then if you feel good, you can bring that left hand up. I'll also mention, since I have this wall here, if you do want to practice alongside a wall, just come up close to it. And instead of lifting that left hand up to the sky, you can always use that left arm to balance on the wall as well. It takes a little bit of pressure out of the hands, so you can think more about that back foot and the leg alignment here. So wherever you're at, play for a few breaths. Maybe you take that full bind by wrapping that left leg behind you, grabbing it with the left hand. Find your breath. Again, just work with it. Play with whatever you'd like to here. Good, and then when you're ready, bend into the right leg, bring that left foot back to meet the right, find your forward fold. And again, option here to catch your breath in the forward fold. If you'd like a little bit more, take a vinyasa flow to go back to downward facing dog, and then coming back to join at the top of the mat in that forward fold. I'll give you a few breaths here, a little bit of space. Find what you need. And if you need to come down into child's pose for a breath or two, come down into child's pose. Again, this is your practice. If you are in that forward fold, maybe again bringing up that intention of letting go. Good. Find the next breath or two to find your forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach the arms up and overhead, gaze up. Exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. One more time, each side. We're gonna take a different pose here, standing, and then I promise we'll come down onto the mat, do a little bit of stretching and a nice meditation together. So, coming to find your standing pose here, we're gonna once again bring weight into the left foot. Shoot the right toes towards the back of the mat, finding our warrior one. So our hips are square-ish to the front of the mat. If they're kind of off to the corner, that's okay. Not everybody's hips can get totally in line. Kind of tweaks the leg a bit here, but reaching in that direction. Left leg is bent. Arms reach up overhead. Good, and then we're gonna bring, keeping the legs just as they are, we're gonna bring our arms behind us. See if you can clasp hands here. If you can't quite clasp the hands, you could grab a strap and find as much distance as you need to here if you're a little bit tighter in the shoulders. So grabbing that strap or our hands here, we're gonna squeeze shoulder blades together. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, humble warrior. So we're beginning to hover over that leg, surrendering to the universe, surrendering to this full moon energy. Inhale, we'll come back up. And again, these legs are staying just in the same position. Exhale, humble warrior. Good, inhale, come up. We'll take one more. Exhale, forward, humble yourself. Inhale to come up. Exhale, pause. Inhale, we'll reach our arms back up to the sky. Exhale, we'll come back to the top of the mat, hands to heart center. Take a breath. Good, then we begin to put weight into the right foot. Shoot the left toes towards the back of the mat, finding your warrior one. On this side, reaching those arms up when you're ready. Staying here in your warrior one. If you've noticed, I've switched it up a little bit with this series. So we've been starting on the left leg instead of the right. Just an opportunity to be creative and break out of the norm. Surrendering to what is. So we'll bring the hands behind our backs. Again, maybe finding that strap or clasping the hands together. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Open the heart space here. Inhale. Exhale, humble forward. This first time, hold for breath. Next, inhale, come up. Good, we'll find two more of those. Exhale, humble forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, rise. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Shake anything out that you'd like to. Good. And then we'll inhale, arms up and overhead, gaze up. Exhale, open the arms, lead with the heart this time, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands on the earth, step the feet back. And rather you practice chaturanga or come all the way to the ground, we're all gonna come down to the ground this time. So lower on down. Untuck those toes. We're gonna find our Sphinx pose here. So bringing our forearms to the mat. You could grab opposite elbows here to get the correct distance, and then palms flat on the earth, reaching forward. Relaxing into our glutes here. And I want you to think about pulling the earth towards you. So finding this tension with the hands pulling back, and then that allows our upper body to lift out of our waist even more, shining the heart through the shoulders here. Good, and then if it feels okay in your neck, you can go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Good, inhale, gently lift the head. You can stay here if you'd like a little bit of a deeper stretch into the back. Hands can find the top corners of the mat, or maybe they come off a little bit here. Press into the earth, straighten the legs, lifts our chest even higher. An option to stay here, or maybe you flutter these feet here. Good, and then exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. You can drop the left cheek onto the mat here. And then we're gonna open up our arms to a T. I'm gonna be a little scrunched here just because I'm next to the wall, but arms straight out, just as my right arm is here on either side. Left cheek again is laying onto the mat. And then we're gonna bring our right hand in and begin to peel the right shoulder off. So we're coming to rest onto the left shoulder. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you flip onto the left hip. Maybe you reach the right arm back. Finding whatever you need to here to open into that left shoulder. So if the ground was here, this whole left shoulder is going to be on the earth, and we're opening up and twisting this way. So find what feels good here. Good, and then inhale, slowly come back through center, coming back onto your belly. Switch to the right cheek onto the earth here. Again, both of our arms spread out nice and wide, palms on the earth. And then the left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. We gently press away with the earth. Maybe you tilt onto your right side. Maybe that left leg comes around. Maybe the left arm reaches back. We don't want any pinching or pain here, so if you're finding that in the shoulder, back off a little bit. Good, and then exhale, slowly come out of it. Come back onto your belly, and then however you'd like to get there, go ahead and roll onto your back. We're gonna find a happy baby here. So first, hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you wrap your arms around the legs. Maybe give yourself a little hug here. Maybe rock side to side. Good, and then to find our happy baby here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift the feet up towards the sky. The knees you wanna think about bringing in towards the armpits. You can grab either the outer edge of the feet with your hands, or you can take peace fingers here, wrap them around the big toe, whichever one you'd like to do so. And then bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, encouraging the hips to open and pulling the knees in towards the armpits. Feet are flexed as if we're gonna stamp our feet onto the ceiling here. And then press that low back into the earth. Stay here for a breath or two, and then if you wanna play or explore in this pose, you can do so. But for this first breath or two, pressing the low back into the earth, being intentional about that hip opening. And then if you'd like to, you can stay here. You can take a few breaths to just kind of play, wiggle around like an actual happy baby, right? They're not just still. Maybe straightening a leg, maybe rolling onto the side, whatever feels good here. Allowing yourself to take any of these little last stretches that you need to before we come to find our Shavasana. And then when you're ready, hugging those knees back into the chest, squeezing in. Maybe you bring the forehead or the chin towards the knees, really crunch everything in. And then release. Come to find your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. Traditionally flat on the back. You could bring the knees up like this if you'd like to release into the low back. Let them tilt in. You could roll onto a side. You could find a child's pose or a seated position. Anywhere that's going to allow you to surrender into the pose and find your breath. Good. So from here, go ahead, release any tension in the body, fully relax into it. Close the eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, a nice soft gaze as usual. Let the natural rhythm of the breath resume here. Let the heart rate slow. And just find a few breaths on your own. And then I'm going to lead you through a little bit of a gratitude meditation. So finding a few breaths here on your own. Allowing yourself to settle in, to relax. Good. Still here in your Shavasana, in your relaxing pose, the eyes closed or soft. Working into a little bit of a meditation for our full moon. Working with this sense of gratitude and wholeness for all that we are and all that we already have. This sense of abundance. So first here, I would like you to bring focus on the people and things in your life that you're grateful for. You could list them in your mind. Maybe you visualize those people walking in and out of your present awareness. However you'd like to bring awareness here, whether it's visual, maybe it's a verbal cue in the mind. All the people in your life, maybe thinking about things that you are grateful for, whatever that may look like for you, a home, a vehicle, a job. Then I would like you to reflect and show gratitude for the life that you have, for our ability to see beautiful things and witness things. Gratitude for our sense of smell and taste, all that offers for us. Gratitude for our voice. Gratitude for love and compassion and the way that we can connect with others, with the earth, with ourselves. Gratitude for our physical bodies and all it allows us to do and experience in this world. Gratitude here for our wisdom, our knowing, our ability to love. Feel all of this just building up inside of you, all this gratefulness for this abundance of all that we have. As human beings, we always want more. But can we surrender to knowing how much we already do have? Can you sit with that? Can you be grateful for it here? And then can you let that radiate out? So just as that moon is radiating that full light, shining in the night, illuminating things, Can you let your love, your wisdom, your gratitude begin to radiate out as well? Maybe you visualize this white light, or perhaps a different color, starting at your heart and just starting to expand through the rest of your body, to your space on your mat. Maybe you visualize this light filling up the room in your home, filling up the whole building that you're in. Maybe that light pours onto the neighbors down the street. Maybe that light pours throughout your whole town or city, expanding larger and larger. Until all there is just love and light. Feel that abundance grow and grow and grow. And know that just as you are right now, right here, you are whole. You are worthy. You are loved. Stay in this space a moment or two longer. Maybe continuing to work with that visualization, or maybe just finding the breath here. Still in your Shavasana, still with the eyes closed. Take a nice deep inhale in through the nose. Heavy sigh out the nose or the mouth, whichever feels better. Take a couple more of those deep, intentional breaths. And then stay where you are if you'd like to stay and meditate or relax a little bit longer. If you'd like to end the class with me, rolling over to your side, taking a breath there, and then coming up to seated when you're ready. I'll give you a few breaths here. And again, you could stay in Shavasana longer and just let the video play out. From wherever you're at, still in Shavasana or seated, repeating after me in your head. I have abundance. I am full and whole just as I am. I am loved. Deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. The light in me sees, honors, loves, and respects the light in each of you. Namaste. And happy full moon. Have a beautiful day.